been dancing ballerina since you've been 4 years old. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm just gonna, we're gonna just talk about being a ballerina and your experience as a Black ballerina in Philly. So I always love to ask people at what moment in your life did you know, like, oh, I like dancing, and then at what point did you say, oh, I'm really good at it, that I could do this professionally?
So my earliest memories are like popping in my sister's VHS tapes and like trying to learn like all her like dance moves, and there got to a point where my mom and my parents had to like hide her like point shoes because I was always like just trying to mimic her dance moves, and that was my earliest memories from about 3 to 4, 3 and 4. So I got into dance school after that at the Shea School of Dance. It was my cousin's studio.
Okay.
And it was a wrap from there. And I think professionally, I went to Kappa as well. You know that. Danced every day. And my sophomore year, maybe I was getting really good. I started teaching classes.
Okay.
I started teaching my classmates. And really, it really shaped me as a leader. So, I want to say around 15, 16, I was like, I can do this, like, for sure.
Yeah, so you mentioned going to Kappa, which is a well-known creative and performing arts school in Philly. What was that like to have a space where you can like shape your craft every single day?
It was like a utopian for like young creatives. Miss Davis, the late great Miss Ladiva Davis, she let us like choreograph a million ballets. Like she gave us like free range to like really explore our creativity. My freshman year, we went on trips all the time, company trips. So it was always like every day was like a moment to like shape myself to be like, a dope dancer.
And the exposure that she gave you when you're looking at other people doing it, you're like, yeah, this is possible.
For sure. She got me so many opportunities as far as like scholarships to a ballet school, Rebecca Davis Dance Company, and then that took me to Africa. So Miss Davis was like the best plug.
So exposure and resources.
Absolutely, like she was queen for that.
So you've kind of danced everywhere. You've been to Africa. You nationally toured with the Cats performance.
Yes.
And yet you decided to open your company, Ballerina Dynamics.
Ballet Dynamics.
Ballet Dynamics,
yes.
Right here in Philly. So why was that important for you to come home and do that here when you could probably do it anywhere?
Yeah, so I opened Ballet Dynamics in 2018. This was right after I came home from Tokyo. I was in Tokyo for 3 months dancing with a pop star over there, Koichi. And I just thought it was so important to come back home to my roots and give back what I know, like share my knowledge to these Black girls because they have so much potential and I want them to know their potential. Like I've been doing this dance thing for a long time, so I see what it takes to be in the real world and they have it. So I was like, you know what? I need to put these girls on the map. And my first company, like it was like 4 of them. They were so good, but then they like went to college.
Okay.
So I kind of like got at a standstill with Ballet Dynamics, but we're about to be back up and running.
So, do you feel like you were inspired to teach because of Ladiva Davis?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
She definitely gave me like my first opportunity to teach.
Oh, and amazing.
When I was a sophomore, I was 15, maybe 14. I was like 14 turning 15 my sophomore year, and she gave me the key. She's like, teach your class. Like, you can. Like, you know how to teach. You know exactly what you're doing. And I kind of took it and ran with it.
Yeah, she spoke power into you.
She did.
And you do that now.
Right.
How has teaching shaped you?
Oh my goodness. So from Tokyo to Cats, that was a 4-year like break of not dancing, but I was teaching like full time and I was conditioning with my students, taking class with them. So that gave me the, the wherewithal to be like, okay, I still have this body, I still have this conditioning. And when I was on tour, I kept like referring back to like the notes that I would give my students when they were performing and stuff. And I'm like, yo, listen to yourself. Like, you know exactly what you're doing. So teaching has definitely like shaped me as a performer because, everything that I preach, I do.
So I know you specifically are in Philly working with Black ballerinas. You work with the Chocolate Ballerina Dance Company. Yeah. So why do you think representation is so important in art, especially in ballet?
I think the representation is important because it's important for the art to remain inclusive. Like, everybody could do it. You don't have to be just one color, one certain body type. And that's why I appreciate companies like chocolate ballerina and ballet dynamics because we allow like different skin tones, you know, but putting the emphasis on minorities being, you know, at the forefront of ballet.
I love that. It's so necessary, especially with Philly. I think Philly is such a big art scene.
It is.
But sometimes you really have to work to find where you feel comfortable and welcome that.
And find your place.
Okay, so I'm a young person in Philadelphia and I want to explore ballet. What would your advice be to me?
I would say to start taking classes. I do teach multiple classes throughout the city, starting with like point classes, ballet classes, jazz, leaps and turns. So you can find me on Instagram at ibb.ml, that's ib.ml. Yeah.
So just go for it.
We plugged in, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so is there like a move you can teach me while I'm sitting, like a hand ballet move or something?